University of Connecticut, where today Big East leading scorer Kemba Walker and 5th-ranked UConn look to make it 7 straight wins. That'll be no easy task, however, as they play host to Preston Knowles and the 19th-ranked Louisville Cardinals. Just another day in the Big East Conference with 2 top 20 teams getting set to go at it on the Big East Network Game of the Week next. Welcome to Big East Network Basketball, presented by PNC. This afternoon, we welcome you inside Gamble Pavilion in Storrs, Connecticut. It's UConn against the Louisville Cardinals, both schools with their share of late-game heroics this year. Most recently, Wednesday night, Louisville trailed West Virginia by 1. Peyton Siva took the rock down the lane, hit a circus shot, and Louisville escaped with the 55-54 victory over the Mountaineers of West Virginia. And with that victory, they climbed to 5-2 in the Big East. So as we take a look at the top of the standings, chasing Pittsburgh right now, UConn, Louisville, joined by Villanova, all at 5-2. Hi, everybody, along with Bob Wenzel, who led both Rutgers and Jacksonville to the NCAA tournament. I'm Mike Gleason. Now, you look at both these schools, they were supposed to be in a rebuilding mode. They're both 5-2. What does Louisville have to do to escape with a victory here?
Three-point shooting. Louisville averages 9 made three-point baskets a game. If they can do that, they're going to be in the game. Gorgie Jang, their leading shot blocker, is out with a concussion. That takes away some of their defensive prowess. So the three-point shot, the most vital stat in this game.
Bob, let's take a look now at your star watch.
Well, Preston Knowles has made 60 of the aforementioned three-point shots. Right here, you can see him doing a little bit of dishing, but he is most effective when he is at the three-point line, shooting deep. He's a threat when he is guarded. He even makes them better than when he is unguarded. And of course, the star player in the country, if not the Big East, is Kemba Walker, averaging 24 points a game. He is entertaining to watch. The best one-on-one player in the Big East.
Louisville Cardinals have the best road record in the Big East over the last 5 years. We'll see if they can work some magic against these Huskies when we come back. Fans braving all the heavy snow that hit the Northeast this week, but it's packed inside here. Gamble Pavilion. Welcome to Big East Network Basketball, presented by PNC. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. Brought to you by Champion. It's how you play. So you have Knowles, Siva, and Smith all averaging in double figures. Stephen Van Treese and Terrence Jennings will be leaned on heavily to try to crash the boards against these Huskies today. And taking a look at number 5 at UConn, Kemba Walker, surrounded by 3 freshmen, Lamb, Olander, and Smith, all freshmen. Alex Oriaki, he's a sophomore, averaging about 11 points, 9 rebounds a game. Oh, Bob Wenzel, you look at Louisville coming in, averaging about 79 points a game, and number 2. All season long, they want to play kamikaze basketball. The go word is go. Do they play that way against this UConn team here today?
I don't think you can change your stripes. You know, they do have some players that are out with injuries. Louisville will use a lot of different kinds of presses in this game to try to throw UConn off. UConn is a team that is very, very quick. It's going to be an entertaining game.
Officials today, Mike Stevens, Brian O'Connell, Roger Ayers, and this game is underway. Cardinals taking 2 from UConn last year. Here in this building, 78-76, as Edgar Sosa hit the game-winning shot.
Keep an eye on the matchup between number 5, Chris Smith, who's been their best player for Louisville, and Roscoe Smith, 6'8". Difficult chore for him to guard Smith on the perimeter.
Van Treese, he rings it up. That's a 2. He's really been shooting well, Bob.
Not much of a player early in the season. Played his first Big East game, had 12 and 14 against South Florida. Has been a fixture in the lineup ever since.
Top of the show, you mentioned Gorgie Zhang missing because falling and hitting his head. He has that strained neck. That's 9 players now that Rick Pitino's had to work without this season. 9 players missing game action, 10 on the shot clock. Walker, a little bit shy, brand new 35, and Lamb says don't need it. Van Treese rips it down for the Cardinals. A little push and a shove. And Oriaki's tied up. The possession arrow will keep it down here. Jim Calhoun, already in the Hall of Fame, coaching against Rick Pitino, who more than likely is headed in that direction. And Pitino could get there this year, Bob.
He's been nominated. He's also coaching the Puerto Rican team in the Tournament of America. Two brilliant coaches. One team picked 10th, one team picked 8th in the preseason prognostications. Now they're both ranked.
Let me put you on the spot after this possession. Think about UConn, what they've done, and Louisville, what they've done. As Lamb hits a little floater, that's his bread and butter shot now. If he had a pick today, who gets Coach of the Year in the Big East Conference?
They're vying.
Nice turn by Jennings, and he flushes it.
Jennings tweaked his knee in the last game against Marquette, also not at 100%. Louisville matchup zone.
And Ikwandu goes off his hand, out of bounds. We saw that last dunk by Jennings, Bob. His attitude has really changed after getting benched after the first 9 games. And coming off the bench, he was averaging about 3 rebounds, and he's really picked up his performance over the last couple of games.
His head was in a place where he wanted to be a scorer and take jump shots, and that's not where Rick wanted him to be playing. So, of course, Rick has the last and final say. Jennings has improved.
As he should.
Yep. Nice ball fake.
Doesn't go down. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals, and it stays with the Huskies with a brand new 35-second clock.
If you're a Louisville fan, you like the start of this game. They have come in with poise. They've gotten 2 easy shots early in the game. Both big men scored. And UConn so far has had trouble with their outside shooting.
UConn now 1 for 6 so far early this afternoon. Kemba Walker averaging just a shade over 24 points a game.
Quite a story this season for Walker and the freshman.
Walker. Smith doesn't go. Jennings with another rebound. A little traveling music for Preston Knowles, and we come back the other way. The Cardinals come in averaging about 14 turnovers. That's their second. Rick Pitino, 8-10 all time against the Huskies, but 6 of those losses way back when he was with Boston University.
You can see that Louisville wants to push the ball quickly on all turnovers and rebounds. They do not want to play a half-court game. Louisville famous for their steals. Siva, the chief thief on this team. Preston Knowles also does a good job with that.
Siva misfires from 3. Louisville comes in, as you mentioned, the number 1 in the Big East, stealing that basketball. Lamb, there's that runner again. Well, that's pretty, isn't it?
He is one sweet player, I got to tell you. His father played for Virginia Commonwealth, played like that. But you talk about a smooth operator. Lamb is it. Last 3 games, he scored as many points for the Huskies as has Kemba Walker.
Great point. He's averaging 18 over those 3 games. There's a little scoop circus shot. It's going to be a goaltending call. So Chris Smith gets his first bucket. Let's take a look at some potential finalists for our Capital One Cup Impact Performance of the Week.
Well, Jeremy Lamb, I think he gets the vote. 24 points against Marquette in that victory on the road. That was big time. First time he's been over 20 this year. You're going to see a lot of that as long as he stays in a Husky uniform.
Well, log on to CapitalOne.com to vote for this week's Impact Performance. Lamb goes inside. Oriaki turns. Partially deflected. Now, UConn, the top blocking team, but Louisville's not too shabby. Number 3 in the conference, but again, playing without Zhang. Jennings takes it to the rack, but he's fouled. He'll be shooting 2.
So far, UConn's defense has been porous. They're doing not a very good job of guarding post people early in the game. Jennings, Van Treese, all getting off early. Jim Calhoun cannot be happy about that. Guys not moving their feet very well so far.
Jim Calhoun has not been happy with Tyler Olander, the 6'9" freshman, who's, as far as his foul trouble, he's constantly been in foul trouble as of late. Jennings, a big-time scorer coming out of Sacramento, California. Said he actually thought about transferring, but he says, you know, if I go somewhere else, if I'm not rebounding, that coach is going to tell me the same thing Rick Pitino is telling me, so I might as well just rebound.
Yeah, I guess. 65% from the free throw line. You can see why. Comes up very, very short on that one. Very little fast breaking so far for the fast breaking Huskies. Louisville doing a good job of getting back. Notice the 2-3 zone, the matchup. Guys don't wander too far defensively past the three-point line. They are daring the outside shot right now.
Walker.
Oh, that is sweet.
Ball fake doesn't go. Giffey crashes the boards but can't come up with it. Huskies do come up with the rock.
Credit Oriaki. Great hustle there.
Walker tried the runner.
Fast hands by Louisville.
A lot of traffic in the lane, huh?
Yeah, they're clogging in. That's their thing. Trying to make you shoot from the outside.
There's that runner again.
Boy, I'll tell you, that is a very difficult shot that he has mastered. You don't see many players with that shot.
Don't see too often that a player like Chris Smith stumbling and falling and the ball goes out of bounds, so there's going to be a timeout on the floor inside 16 minutes, so we're going to take a break. There he is, Bob. Jeremy Lamb with his signature shot right here.
My new favorite player, the teardrop. You gotta love that. Syracuse Lamb.
That caught everybody by surprise to see Nova in Georgetown over on ESPN, 12-10 right now. And Georgetown riding a 3-game winning streak, and they've won 6 of the last 7 in that series. That might surprise a few people.
Lamb is the only Husky who has scored in the game. He's 3 for 4. Everybody else is 0 for 8. Now Walker's going to work away from the basketball. They'll set 3 or 4 screens for him. Trying to get a touch out of the timeout. Nice switching by Louisville on Kemba.
Oriaki.
He dribbled already, can't go.
There's Kemba. Dips inside Mara, and Oriaki gets the tip.
Core player is Alex Oriaki. All Big East freshman last year. Their best inside guy.
They were saying against Texas, his 21 rebounds, he was like a magnet. Wow. He just went up and grabbed everything. Jennings down low. Oh, he'd like to have that shot back. You know, Bob, it's amazing when you look at Jeremy Lamb against Texas. He only had 8 minutes. Jim Calhoun saying he couldn't play him because he was getting bumped off the screens. Just wasn't tough enough on defense, and came back and started working on his game, and here he's one of the better players on the court right now.
Well, Lamb is not physically mature yet. He is skinny, but he is now mentally tough. On Tuesday, he was great. 24 points against Marquette on an assortment of all kinds of shots. This floater is a very, very interesting shot that he has in his repertoire. The breakaway, the easy one. But even though he is not physically tough, George Blaney told me before the game, the assistant coach of UConn, that he has become more mentally tough over the last several weeks. So Lamb, very, very important player on this team.
Oriaki picks up the foul. The one previous went to Niels Giffey, so back-to-back fouls on UConn.
We showed you Lamb's numbers the course of the season, but he's averaging 16 in the last 4 or 5 games. So his number is dramatically increasing as the season has gone on. Matchup zone has been confounding. UConn struggling against it, not getting clean shots. Louisville's defense very, very good early in the game.
There's Kemba Walker, 0 for 4 so far this afternoon.
That's an oddity.
Lamb. The bank it in, doesn't go. Jennings rips down another rebound. He had 9 rebounds against West Virginia. Carrick, left corner. They say if he hits that first shot in the left corner, look out. But if he misses, he kind of folds up and doesn't take too many more shots. We'll see if that takes place here this afternoon.
Knowles and Siva, small but quick. Pretty good matchup for Walker. Walker can take bigger people easier.
Another rejection, and it's Jennings that goes out of bounds. UConn basketball.
Normally, Rick has Jennings and Van Treese and Gorgie Jang rotating at the 4 and 5 spots in the game. Because Jang is not playing today, those guys are going to have to play extra long minutes.
really amazing when you stop and think about it. I know we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but 9 players missing action on this Louisville team. Not one of these players were on any of the preseason All Big East teams, and here they stand 16-4.
Well, the big thing for Louisville is Shropshire is not playing at all. He's out for the year. And Rakeem Buckles. Those are the only 2 4-men on their roster. So they're playing without a power forward the entire season. And the guy who makes that happen is Chris Smith. He's only 6'2", and he plays forward in the Big East. He's a tough customer.
Oriaki. They feed the post, and Oriaki's fouled.
The good thing about that foul for Louisville is they fouled him before he began his shot. So there's no free throws taken here. Take the ball out of bounds. It's one thing to teach all different kind of things, but when you teach players to be aware of fouls and when to foul intelligently, that was a good example of it right there. UConn just gets a possession.
That was Keurig charged with the foul, and Louisville comes up with another steal. Mara looking for Jennings. Another flush.
Nice pass by Mara. Looked like he was going one way and went the other. You can see Louisville much better in transition than they are in the half-court offense.
Well, we talked about go as the operative word. This Louisville team in the preseason, when they were working out, if they didn't get the ball over in practice over the timeline, in 3 seconds it would be a turnover. Shot still won't go down for the Huskies on their home court. Here come the Cardinals. Smith. Keurig with a flush.
Well, that's Napier's fault. Kemba Walker is out of the game right now. The point guard is responsible for defensive balance. And the freshman right there, Shabazz, not getting back at all. That was too easy.
Won't go.
Brick City so far for UConn.
Well, we got to take your hat off to this Louisville defense early on.
4 of 20.
There's a strip. Jennings doesn't go down. Thought he had an easy one. Napier, nice look inside. And the bucket goes this time for Jamal Coombs-McDaniel.
Pretty sweet pass by Napier there. Coombs-McDaniel, normally an outside player, getting some minutes in the paint.
Coombs-McDaniel, the Prep National Player of the Year, only getting 14.8 minutes. Mara misfires from the corner, but they say very productive minutes for McDaniel. 10:52 to go. Louisville still in the lead by 1.
Coming at you, Dunk City.
By 1, Bob, take us inside the play.
Well, the transition game is what Louisville likes the most. A pass, a dribble, a cross-court pass. Jennings on the finish. They average 80 points a game. Why? Because they love to get out. Right here, this is a steal. Quick transition to the other end. 2 seconds, another sweet pass right here. Jennings on the finish. This is what they love to do. Transition game is the name of the game for Louisville.
Earlier this year, Rick Pitino saying, go hard or go home. That's our mantra this year.
Well, I think Louisville this year is being coached in a remarkable fashion by that man, because they've had all kinds of injuries, as you mentioned. I don't think they have any star players, Big East performers really, but they do it with a bunch of guys playing as hard as they can, and they do it with genius defense. So far, it's been very, very effective in this game.
Coach Pitino saying the strength of the team overall is attitude. And it's been that way since October 15th.
That's the date they start practice. 2-3 zone, matchup variety. Takes away the paint. Lots of guys in there ready to block shots.
Walker. That's what Jay Wright said. He's so quick that he stops on a dime.
Well, the pull-up, very much important for a small player. If you take it all the way to the rack, frequently it's going to get blocked. More aggressive defense right here by UConn, obviously.
Touched by Walker. That's why there was not a over and back call. Battle up by the glass, and we're coming back the other way.
Well, Good just got into the game, and he got a foul immediately on this particular play. He's an experienced guy. Doesn't get as many minutes normally when Jeng is playing, since Jeng is out with the concussion. Good's going to be in there. Full court pressure this time by Louisville. They switch. Sometimes it's man-to-man. Sometimes it's trapping. Sometimes it's a 2-2-1. Napier's a freshman. He could get confused on plays like this.
There's a reach. Russ Smith, the charge with that foul. Going for another steal for the Cardinals. Grabbed his wrist.
Three-point shooting conspicuously absent for both teams so far in the game. Nobody's made one.
Smith goes up. I'm sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry, that's more of a problem, Mike, for Louisville because they kind of rely on the three much more than Connecticut does.
Hitting over 9 threes a game, the Cardinals are on average. Walker. Oh, it's Napier. Shabazz knocks down the three, first three.
Now they've got Napier and Walker in the game at the same time. Quickness and quickness.
Good turns down on the baseline. Nice touch. I'd mentioned during a recent broadcast he looks so natural out there. You mentioned only getting 8 minutes a game, and they say injuries have plagued him for his whole career, but he was a big-time recruit coming out of high school. Smith, too strong. Siva.
That was a brick. Oh my goodness, I heard that from here.
Looking for some backdoor action. Roscoe Smith can't come up with the handle. A little bit too much on the pass. And we come back the other way. The Cardinals with a chance of time.
Noontime games. Lots of turnovers early in them. Players not quite awake. Judgment questionable so far in this one.
Huskies with 3 turnovers for Jim Calhoun, and Peyton Siva now with a chance to tie it up. A 3 will give them the lead. Huskies up on the glass 18-8 so far. And Good throws it out of bounds, looking for Van Treese. 4 turnovers now for the Cardinals. Love the look of those coaches. It's amazing, Bob. Last year, the Huskies beat the Cardinals on the glass 50-22 and still wound up losing the game by 2.
When you get rebounded like that, something good has to happen, and Kemba Walker was the good. He had 27 in that game.
Siva. They come back in against Marquette. He was actually booed against St. John's. 10 points, 10 assists, 7 steals. Speaking of steals and quick hands, Walker comes up with that one.
That's a foul in every other league in the nation except this one.
Walker still doesn't go down for Kemba. Chased down by Good. Goes behind the back. Louisville now 0 for 3 on 5s. A little touch there by Siva, and 1.
Siva's better at the acrobatic shots than he is at the standard shots. Almost broke the backboard on his last 3, and then makes a beautiful play. Check out Peyton Siva on this one. Degree of difficulty very high. The bump. Hate it. Connecticut going. He was the star player early in this game when they were struggling. What was the response? The transition game. Turek right here scores. And then just moments ago, Siva on a very difficult shot. An opportunity for a 3-point play for Mr. Siva coming right up.
How about the Star Watch? The guys, tough time getting going here.
Well, the defense knows who the stars are, and both of these coaches skewing their defense toward those 2 star players. Knowles has only taken 1 shot. Kemba taken 6, but not in rhythm so far.
Siva misses a chance for the 3-point play. Knowles, who lit up Marquette's when they erased that 18-point deficit, came back and ripped into St. John's. He's been struggling the last 2 games. 1 for 8 against Providence, 3 for 16 against West Virginia.
They got foul trouble against Providence. Only had 2 points in that game.
Down on the baseline, and the drive by Donnell Beverly, the senior out of Los Angeles. He's gone to the line. Shoot two. More exciting Big East hoops action coming your way Saturday, February 5th. First at noon Eastern, Providence taking on number 20 Georgetown. And then at 2 Eastern, it's 10th ranked Syracuse against the Bulls of South Florida. Big East game of the week doubleheader next Saturday, beginning at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, only on the Big East Network.
Interesting lineup right now for UConn. Coombs, McDaniel, and Beverly in the game with the two freshman guards and Oriaki. I don't think I've seen that all year out here. Kemba Walker should be returning shortly.
Beverly, an 81% shooter. It's 1 of 2. Smith gets his pocket picked. Boy, Lamb again, nothing sheepish about his shooting.
He's got a terrific mid-distance game. Very, very smooth.
Jim Calhoun saying sometimes he just makes the game look easy. Knowles baseline, it won't go down. Good hustle.
Beverly, the senior, getting some minutes. Not normal.
Shabazz, Napier, won't go down. Whoa! Where did Lamb come from? Rick Pitino calls the timeout. Bob, you think he's over there saying, you ever hear of a box out here?
Watch the left side of your screen. Nobody touches Jeremy. Man, is he having a game. 24 against Marquette. Tuning it up right here in Stores. The freshman with length. He has shown the mid-distance game, and now he's showing going to the glass. What an exciting player.
10 points already, 5 for 8, shooting the rock. Lamb is. You mentioned over his last 3 games, averaging 18 points. His percentage is way up as well. Jim Calhoun said at times he used the word he's been sensational. For Jim Calhoun to use that word on a freshman, that's quite the compliment.
54 points in the last 3 games for Mr. Lamb, and he's adding to that total right now. Just to put that in perspective, that's the exact same number of points that Kemba has had in the last 3 games. So getting a reliable second scorer coming through here.
Lamb 5 of 8. The rest of the team 4 of 21.
Wow. Battle going inside. Jennings and Oriaki.
Siva, nice look inside. Jennings, another one.
Siva's got good vision, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He really sees the court very, very well. Nice pass there.
He's averaging at least 6 assists in 7 of his last 12 games, so he's learning how to play point.
There you go. That's what point guards do. Vision and willingness to pass. Elbow area is open.
Lamb, he's feeling it. That's a 2, but it gives him 12.
Same play, pick and roll.
Doesn't go down. Jennings, another rebound, but he missed the stick back. Another steal for the Cardinals. No, not quite. Kemba Walker left open. It's going to be frustrating. Boy, Lamb getting it done on both ends.
Shot clock will continue on a play like that. Jennings has been a factor offensively in this game.
Definitely. Averaging 21 minutes. I think his minutes going to go way up. Keurig, that's the shot he loves, deep in the left corner.
9 threes a game on average for Louisville. When they get off to an 0-5, 0-6 start from there, you know they're going to keep firing, and they do.
There's a foul on Peyton Siva. So Peyton Siva, the sophomore, starting to share the rock more and more.
Point guard, vision, bounce pass instead of an air pass. That's the only thing that could get there. And this delivery for the three. Point guard personified is Peyton Siva from the great Northwest, Seattle Franklin High School. A lot of great players from out in that area. Really coming on in his sophomore year. Last year, Edgar Sosa dominated in the backcourt.
Looking inside, Oriaki, and good hands on defense. I think it was Mero knocked it out of bounds. And there's another timeout on the floor. As we're inside that 4-minute mark, Jim Calhoun, ranked number 5, holding on to a narrow 2-point lead over Rick Pitino's Louisville Cardinals. And Bob, let's get to know the impact freshman of the game, presented by Sun Life Financial, annuities, employee benefits, life insurance.
Well, these guys are going to be annuities for the future for the University of Connecticut fans. 3 of them usually starters, playing big minutes. You can see Lamb and Napier and Roscoe Smith, all with very good numbers on the season. They will be the future of this program. Lamb, the guy who's doing it so far today, 12 points. Kemba Walker, only 1 of 7 in the game so far. Louisville doing an excellent job on the All-American.
Walker hop, skip, and a jump, and gets the bucket. He's been struggling.
When your outside shot's not going and you average 24 a game, try to take it to the rack in transition, get some easy ones.
And we're coming back the other way. Illegal screen, a little push there by Russ Smith.
The quickness, the taking it to the basket, always apparent when Kemba Walker is on the floor. Remember, he averaged 30 a game in the 3 games in Maui. He's had 40 in games this year. What a dynamic scorer. Inextricably tied to Jimmer Fredette of BYU. BYU played the other night. Fredette had 43, and there were signs in the Marriott Center at BYU saying, Kemba who?
That's going to be an interesting race as we go down the stretch. Another steal by the Cardinals. And almost taken right back by Roscoe Smith.
Roscoe's been kind of silent so far in the game. He's been a very good freshman for Jim Calhoun this year, starting at the power forward spot.
Smith with 7 rebounds in the game. He's the lockdown defender. And Terrence Jennings showing some aggression on the offensive end. He's going to the line. He'll be shooting 2 more. Kwandu charged with the foul. Coming up on the Geico halftime report, we'll check the Big East wire as Kemba Walker, his season snapshots. 4 times he's hit the game winner or the go-ahead shot. Big East news and notes, conference standings review, and the first half highlights here from Stores. Jennings 7 points, 5 rebounds, only a 65% shooter from the line. And see number 4, Jamal Coombs McDaniel, getting some more playing time.
Smith goes out, bigger. Coombs McDaniel in, maybe a little bit better outside shooting. Lots of guys shuffling in and out of this game so far. Walker, the consistent factor in the game. Very low scoring half for him, obviously. Louisville, even though they're playing zone, they're aware of his presence. And when he's in your area, you play him man-to-man and trap him.
Set on the shot clock for the Huskies. Lamb. Olander, good kick out. 2 on the shot clock. A leaner. Doesn't go for Beverly.
4 on 4. 2 guys are down at the other end.
Jennings off the window, but he's fouled again. Boy, Knowles wasn't even thinking shot, right? They're really feeding the post well today.
Jennings is doing a great job, Mike, of running basket to basket. As soon as a rebound is gotten by Louisville at their end, he just sprints right down the middle of the floor, tries to get into the lane, and he is doing a very, very good job. Now watch this. See him running right down the middle of the floor, doesn't try to get out in the lane, gets into the paint area. He's been doing that all game long.
It's this one. He's got 8 now in the game. The last foul, incidentally, went against Tyler Olander, the 6'9" freshman, his second.
Big guys who run the floor can get easy baskets. You can average 6 to 8 points a game as a big man by just running the middle of the floor. Did it get windy in here?
Actually, I think he was shooting for the front of the rim. Didn't quite get there. Huskies by 3.
Louisville is very, very small right now. Kyle Kerrick at 6'4" is the power forward playing the back of the zone.
There's that floater again. Nice job of finding the open spot in the lane.
He has poise.
He certainly has that shot down pat. Jennings again, another touch. Turns, fires, scores. Oriaki gets his touch down low.
Big guys getting involved now. To play well and to win in the Big East or in any major conference basketball, you have to have balance of inside and outside scoring.
Kerrick. Shot kind of a line drive that time. This is Shabazz Napier. Inside shot won't go for Coombs McDaniel. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Louisville basketball.
His game is not in the interior. Playing there out of necessity right now. When he gets in traffic in there, he's just not big enough to operate.
So playing out of position, but no complaints. Jim Calhoun's called Coombs McDaniel jack of all trades this year. And he's been productive with his 14 minutes. Another turnover, that's 8 down.
No ties today for the guys. Everybody wearing those sneakers on the sideline. It's a sport of coaches versus cancer. Rick Tylis is very unusual. All of the coaches are wearing sneakers, both ends, all over the country this weekend in support of that great cause.
Well, more exciting Big East women's hoops action comes your way Saturday, February 5th. Pittsburgh takes on 8th-ranked West Virginia. The women's Big East game of the week Saturday, February 5th, 4 Eastern, 3 Central, only on the Big East Network. We're getting back to what you're talking about, the coaches versus cancer. I think cancer has affected all of our lives in one way or the other, and if it hasn't, we certainly have been blessed. Great cause. Jim Calhoun, of course, he's battled with cancer himself. Now in his 25th year.
He's a survivor, no doubt about that, and a very, very competitive individual. Hall of Fame, 2 national championships. On the other bench, Rick has taken 3 different teams to the Final Four: Providence, Kentucky, and Louisville. So you got some of the elite college basketball coaches royalty in this game.
Both coaches saying that they've had fun this year coaching their teams. A lot of times that's not the case. 6 on the shot clock. Kemba. Oh, beautiful move. Just wouldn't go down for him. Knowles almost got it to end the first half. So we have 20 minutes in the books here from the Gampo Pavilion. And let's go back at the Star Watch. Knowles hasn't scored. Walker with 4, Bob.
Well, if you're up 5 and Kemba Walker only has 4 points, you got to be happy with the result, not with what's going on. Give Lamb the credit. He's been the man in this game.
Lamb with 14. Great point to bring up about Kemba Walker. 28-23. The Geico halftime report is forthcoming.
Not great for the superstar so far.
Both coaches getting some mileage from 2 other players.
Yes, Jennings has been very, very good with 10 points. And Jeremy Lamb, 7 of 10 in the first half. He is really, really picking up the slack.
You mentioned Knowles. He only took 3 shots, 0 for 3 in the first half, and he passed up a couple of open looks to feed the post and get the ball to Terrence Jennings. This is Jennings with the basketball right here.
Neither team hot from the perimeter. 1 for 9, 1 for 10 from 3-point range.
Oh, Siva. He went into the land of no return, and somehow he returned.
He got a return. 100% return on this investment. Right here, Siva. He won their last game on an acrobatic shot against Marquette. Wow, what a play. He's really playing well as the season has progressed, hasn't he?
No doubt about that. As Siva Hits a three-point play. He's got 5 in the game now. We talked about the acrobatic shot against West Virginia. They asked him after the game, can you go back out there and hit that shot? And he said no.
Let's see if Walker can get uncorked in the second half. I would expect so.
Lamb with 14 in the first half. For Walker, the only player in Jim Calhoun with back-to-back 30-point games.
Nice keeping it alive by Okwandu.
Okwandu got stripped, fights for it, and the whistle, the foul is going to go against Jennings.
When you put the ball on the ground and you're 7 feet tall, you are now no longer 7 feet tall. And as a result, Okwandu got that stripped. Siva very, very good at that.
That's number 2 on Jennings.
Van Treese has been absent. The guy defending right here made the first shot of the game, and that was it for him.
Nice look. Missed the flush. Roscoe Smith gets it and one.
Roscoe was absent in the first half. Finally gets on the board. Interior was open. Long arms. The pump fake always works.
Van Treese, his arms weren't quite long enough. He gets charged with the foul. Roscoe Smith with the three-point play.
He's a good free throw shooter. 78% on the year for that freshman. He's going to be a good one, too. I was surprised the first half was such a low-scoring game. I expected more.
You weren't alone, Bob. I think they can blame me. Whenever there's a big-time score and I'm calling the game, they always had an offense. Never fails. Rick Pitino's going to talk things over. 9 turnovers now for the Cardinals. 18:49 to go. There's the numbers favoring the Huskies by 5.
In Square Garden, that is big.
The grueling wars at the Big East tournament, that has to help because the NCAA is right there on the horizon.
68 teams this year instead of 65. Sweet little pass right there by Napier.
Van Treese gives it up to Siva. Well, Siva wanted to push it, probably a little too hard. Knowles misses a 3. It was Brandon Jennings saying in practice, you got to have a hand in Knowles' face. He'll hit it every time. Wide open shots, he's not so good.
You got a lot of quickness on the floor right now with the 2 small guards of Louisville and the 2 small guards, Napier and Walker.
That's Napier, and that's a 3.
He's the only one who made one in the first half, and now the second half. They need balance. He's providing it.
Largest lead now for the Huskies at 34-26.
That's exactly what you were talking about. Knowles shoots better when he has somebody in his face than when he's left open. But of course, it's hard to tell you guys, leave him open, huh? Can't do that.
Well, there was definitely someone in his face that time. That's his first bucket. He's got 3.
Napier likes the left-hand side of the top of the key.
Van Treese with the steal. Knowles, corner shot, rims out. Not the flush, though. The stick back by Jennings. He's got 12.
Running basket to basket is his mantra. In the right place at the right time there.
Jennings is enjoying himself out there. 15 minutes in the first half, averaging 21 for the game coming in.
Hesitancy on the part of Kemba there. That should have been a shot.
Shabazz Napier. That's a shot. That's
He's made 3 of them.
Mara misses the 3. The 3 is his shot. Well, actually, that might have been a 2. I stand corrected, but the whistle and the foul goes against UConn.
Well, Preston Knowles, he's made 63s on the season. This is number 61. Little push-off action there. And right here, Terrence Jennings, run the floor, big man, and things will come your way. That was the easiest basket of the game.
Jennings with 12. You mentioned 60. 61 now, 3s. Preston Knowles trailing Ashton Gibbs by only 4 now. Gibbs leading with 65.
Yeah, and Corey Stokes might be the best three-point shooter in the conference. The young man from Villanova. Way below his average for sure.
Wow, Knowles wants to take things over now.
Boy, he created that, didn't he?
No
He
doubt.
was hunting that shot.
5 quick one for Knowles, and it's back to 4, 37-33.
Coombs McDaniel is in as the four-man.
A lot of quick hands in there, and this is going to be a gift.
Nice play by Shabazz. He was in the right place. He anticipated that outlet pass. Great play by the freshman. You could put your head and run back, or you could be alert.
Little runner off the glass doesn't go by Knowles. Lamb stops, rims it.
Boy, that was right on the rim, too. He faded away. That's why it missed.
Siva very quickly. Now there's Mara's shot, and it goes.
That's when Louisville is at their best. Run the floor, shoot the threes.
Timeout on the floor. Mara missed 2 games earlier with an ankle, and he was playing really well when they started the first 9 games of the season. He was in double figures, 6 of 9, and his scoring has tapered off because of the injury. Well, so much of it is confidence, isn't it, Coach?
Well, right here, we're going to see some confidence by Mr. Mara. A nice delivery by Peyton Siva. You notice now Mara on the fast break doesn't run to the basket, runs to the corner. Very different philosophy. Rick Pitino wants his guys to shoot 3. They all have the green light. Big, big factor in college basketball.
Let's take a look down our Sunline Financial scoreboard. There's the numbers here, 39-36. Elsewhere in that Villanova-Georgetown game, the Hoyas, as we mentioned, they've won 6 of the last 7.
Well, the Syracuse-Marquette game will be very, very interesting. Syracuse, 3 losses in a row, and West Virginia playing without their leading scorer. The 4th leading scorer in the league, Casey Mitchell's been suspended. That takes away a lot of their offense.
Bob Huggins heading back to his old stomping grounds in Cincinnati with 8 scholarship players. Oriaki loses the handle, goes out of bounds. It's Louisville basketball.
As soon as you put the ball on the floor in the paint against Louisville, you get attacked by 4 people. They do a great job of that.
39-36, number 5, UConn by 3. Programs, Bob.
2 NCAA titles for each. In the 80s, it was Louisville, and near the turn of the century, and in the first decade here, it's been UConn. 8 Final Fours for Louisville. That's fantastic. And look at the bottom line. That's a lot of wins, man. A lot of wins.
Mentioning a lot of wins, the Marquette game for Jim Calhoun was his 1200th. He said, boy, that's a lot of nervous energy before 1,200 games. It's a lot of looking at the face of Jimmy Burr, he said, the referee. Said, a lot of whistles.
Kemba Walker still not having an excellent game. The shooting has improved in the second half. Louisville's 2 for 4 from 3. And Napier's made 2 of the 2 that UConn has taken. So the three-point shooting getting a little bit better. Kemba Walker, 1 for 13 from three-point range in the last 2.5 games. But he doesn't look to me like he is frustrated out there. I mean, he's very content to help his teammates.
No, he said he has no problem sharing the spotlight with his teammates, but his shot has been struggling in conference play. Big East Hoops action next Saturday, February 5th, first at noon Eastern. Providence against number 20 Georgetown at 2 Eastern. It's 10th-ranked Syracuse against South Florida. That's the Big East game of the week doubleheader next Saturday, starting at noon, 11 a.m. Central, only on the Big East Network. And my point I was going to make is in conference play from 3, shooting 26%, Kemba Walker is, and he said maybe this is the week that I snap out of that.
Well, the other thing is, you know, the last 2 games he's had 16 and 14. Those are his low. But in those games he had 9 assists and 7 assists. So certainly helping his teammates get on track.
Smith, he's been in double figures 6 of the last 9 games, and he hasn't had too many open looks here either. 4 on the shot clock. Corner. Smith doesn't go down. I'll tell you about Shabazz, Napier. There's a little extra pep in his step. It seems like his confidence level in the second half. Just his demeanor out there, he looks like a junior or senior. They say he doesn't lack confidence at all. This young man doesn't either.
Not much work on the offensive boards because there's a small team in there for both groups. The power forwards are 6'4" and 6'6" right now for both teams.
Walker trying to go the distance. He's fouled with the shot, so he'll be going to the line shooting 2, an 83% shooter.
The second, team foul 3.
Well, Louisville has not opened the floor much. They're getting back quickly. There have not been a lot of fast breaks. Rick Pitino's team getting back quickly. All 5 guys. Right there, Kemba pushing it, which is what you should do when you're not scoring well. Try to get to the free throw line.
Kemba Walker, 2 for 9 field goals. Hits the free throw. He's got 5 in the game now. Automatic. Elisha Justice on the floor now for Louisville. His first action here in the ball game. Keurig. But when he's on, he is on. Walker doesn't go. Rebound by Keurig.
You could sense the collective breath of the 10,127 in here when Walker took that shot. They just want him to get untracked.
It did get quiet, didn't it?
Took a long time to get there. It was a long shot.
Last make by Keurig was a 2, incidentally, not a 3. This is Keurig with the basketball. Knowles. Boy, if Keurig could have got his hands on the ball, he got an easy 2. There's a reach and a foul by Preston Knowles.
Well, we saw some acceleration on this particular play. Kemba Walker was driving full speed. Got to the free throw line last time. Did it again this time. Watch his speed as he accelerates. Steps right between 3 guys. Gets fouled by a couple of guys. He'll still only get 2 free throws.
Knowles picks up his first, and Kemba Walker, he's had, you mentioned the 24 points a game. Several games he's had as many as 10 free throws. Let's take a look now at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC. For the achiever in us all. See a lot of thieves in this game, huh?
Yeah, that's right. 2 of the 3 are from Louisville, and Kemba, they lead the league, those 3 guys.
Wow. 0 for 2. You're not going to see that very often.
The question now that goes through the coach's mind and is he's your star player. He's averaging off 10. Do you take him in and out? Do you put him in and out? Do you ignore it and just say go ahead and play, which is what Jim is doing right now? Or do you know that he'll make good plays at the end of the game? If he continues to play like this, it's going to be a very close game.
Well, as you mentioned, he's been giving up the rock as of late. Well, there's a hustle play right there.
Littlest guy goes to the boards. Kemba does rebound well. He averages over 5 a game.
Justice having a hard time against this defense. Knowles loses it. Napier lost it, regained it. And we're coming back. I guess he didn't regain it. Stepped out of bounds in Louisville basketball. A little helter-skelter there, Bob. 9 turnovers now for the Huskies.
Aggressive defense is what Jim Calhoun wants right here. They need to open up the floor because it's been a struggle for them. Even though they've maintained the lead throughout, you know, Louisville is explosive. They can make 2 or 3 threes in a heartbeat. Louisville came down from 18 against Marquette with 6 minutes to go to win the game this year. And they have been in close games. Their last game, they beat West Virginia on a last-second shot by this guy, Siva. So if I'm Connecticut, I'm trying to get some breathing room right here and extend this lead.
That young man right there hit 4 for 4 in that Marquette game you're talking about. He's got 10 on the shot clock now for the Huskies. Oriaki gets the touch, tries the left hand, it won't go down. Real tie it for the Cardinals.
That was a shot by the last guy standing. Everybody on the floor in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, good. Almost had the look like, do you want me to shoot it? Walker. There's a three.
Sometimes all it takes is one.
Siva fakes the three, drives in, and the block is going to go against Beverly. $10,000 plus inside this building obviously disagree with the call.
They like this, though. Kemba Walker's first three of the game. Will it light his fire? We'll see.
$1 million contribution given to build the Burton family football complex. Over the years, he's given $7 million, or over $7 million to the football program, and he wants his name taken off, citing differences with the athletic director, Jeff Hathaway, and he wanted to be consulted as far as the new hiring of the football coach, Randy Edsel, going to Maryland. Paul Pasqualoni was hired, and obviously he wasn't a consultant. What are your thoughts with a donor asking for money back?
Philanthropy means the love of man. When you are philanthropic, you give it, and there's no strings attached. So let's hope that that gets all squared away.
Well said. Well said. Of course, Burton's son playing for Pasqualoni at Syracuse back in the late 90s. Our game here, 46-40, and Kemba Walker has come to life here in the second half a little bit.
Well, thank goodness for the Husky fans. It was tough early in the game. Misses everywhere. He was only 2 for 9. Even the open threes were not going down. 1 for 13 in his last 13. But in the second half, he got going a little bit. Took the ball to the basket, got an inside shot, and this, his first 3 in 2.5 games. And he was relieved, to say the least. Kemba's starting to heat up.
6:30 or 30-plus games on the season, and Siva misses from the line. As we went to break, Jim Calhoun almost came out to the center court, yelling at the officials that Siva plowed right into Beverly. They obviously didn't see it that way. 6 points now for Siva.
Full court pressure by Louisville. They can turn you over. 2 point guards in the game, which is a good thing for UConn. Both Walker and Shabazz Napier in there. Gives them good handle.
Napier with the drive, a little step back. Great shot.
Wow. He's pretty strong for a small guy, isn't he? Man, that was an on-balance shot with his shoulders square. Very good.
Husky lead back to 7. Knowles. We've mentioned 9.2 threes a game. 3 for 15 for Louisville so far.
Yep. That's why it's such a low-scoring game at this juncture.
Smith. Nice job finding Good, but Good couldn't get it off as Oriaki was standing in his way.
Nice block. UConn interior defenders took care of business on that one. This should have been an easy play. The ball's right there. Oriaki gets his hand on it.
11 turnovers now for Louisville.
Maybe that was Smith. Oriaki was standing there. I think Smith got his hand on it.
Oh, was it Smith?
Excuse me.
That was a reach and a foul. And it's going to go against number 5, Chris Smith. That's going to be his first.
Interesting, like Donnell Beverly is in the game right now. He's a senior and a leader on this team, even though he's not one of the key players in a crucial juncture right now. Jim Calhoun trusts his judgment.
I was going to ask you, is it often that Beverly, Napier, and Kemba Walker get on the court at the same time this year?
I don't think so, but in this game it's happened several times.
Walker.
He's back! He's back! Oh, man. 14 points, the lowest he's scored all year long. He's got 13 right now.
9 of the 13 in the second half, and we still have 9:09 to go before they put this one to rest. UConn by 9, a 7-0 run now for the Huskies.
You talk about a guy who can take over a game. It is Kemba Walker. Despite not having a good first half, he is taking responsibility. He's just willing this shot in. The pull up in the lane over the big man. Right here. This is not easy. Jennings challenged it. Kemba make it anyway.
4 teams from the Big East ranked in the top 10. 3 of the 4 losing this week. 2 of the 3 on their home floor. But Kemba Walker trying to make sure that doesn't happen here this afternoon. So we update the Star Watch, and you look at the numbers, improved every year, Bob.
Yeah, no doubt about that. From the last 3 seasons, the dramatic increase in scoring for both of these guys. And that's a function of not only their abilities and their work ethic, but their position on the team. When you have other guys who are shooting, Edgar Sosa on one hand or Jerome Dyson on the other, more opportunity available for both of them. Napier's defense has been very good in the second half. What he's got to be careful is gambling on Siva.
Jennings. Fake left, came back right. Rebound ripped down by Roscoe Smith. He's got 9 rebounds now, and there's another steal by the Cards. Transition. Won't go down, but the stick back does by Smith.
Quickness. It will be interesting to see if there's any kind of change as we go down the stretch. UConn has had the lead, maintained the lead. Louisville never gives up, gets close, but never gets over the hump.
Walker says, hey, they wouldn't bite on the fake. I'll take the jumper, and it's an air ball. One of the few he shot this season. Wow, tough to find a shot, tough to pass the
They got numbers, they got numbers. Some weakness.
They have numbers. Napier has the bucket. He has 13.
4-on-2, handled it well. Siva needs to create for Louisville. He's off the ball right now. They need to get it in his hands.
Well, that can be exhausting trying to find a shot, huh? Just can't find a shot. Back to 7 on the shot clock. Jennings, a little leaner.
Beverly, huh? Calhoun knows why he's in there. Reliable.
Roscoe Smith. Thought he had it.
Guys look tired right now. Both teams.
Siva. Little burst of energy as he takes a trip down the lane.
Well, that's the guy I felt needed to get the ball in his hands, and he did. Acceleration by Siva.
Shabazz Napier found his shot again, Bob. He's got 13, 52 for the Huskies. 6:51 to go, and Siva is on the line. We talked about that game-winning shot against West Virginia. He was 5 for 5 in that game, 14 points, 3 of 8 here this afternoon. Shots have been tough to come by.
Expect full court pressure from Louisville. Rick directing right here. Looks like it's man-to-man variety. They will try to trap out of this little run and jump action if they get an opportunity. There it is.
Knocked out of bounds. It stays down here with the Huskies.
Louisville tries to get you to dribble too fast for your own good, and they try to get you out of control, and that's the style that Pitino has employed over the years. He does it differently when his personnel is different, but still, that's the core of what they want you to do. The good news for UConn is they have 2 very, very quick point guards that can go fast and still stay under control.
Villanova's head coach Jay Wright said Kemba Walker has that extra gear. Walker hits the front of the rim, so he's been shy on the last 2 shots. Very quickly, Keurig in transition gets the bucket.
Kemba's in the student section right now. He's got to get back on the floor. Louisville really runs the floor well, don't they? Getting good opportunities here. Gap is where they want it with 5:50 to go. Lamb hasn't scored in the second half.
Knocked it about 6 on the shot clock.
He had 14 in the first half. Lamb has 0 in the second half. That's been why they're struggling of late right here.
Moments ago it was a 9-point lead. Now it's down to 4, 52-48.
That's been a theme that's happened all during this game. The lead extends and they get it back.
A little crossover, a little runner in the lane, doesn't go. Stick back won't go. Oh, missed opportunity there for the Huskies.
They got numbers.
Three from the corner doesn't go by Smith. They were lucky they didn't lose the basketball.
UConn was lucky that didn't go down.
Nice rebound by Roscoe Smith, gives him 10 now.
They're trying to get Lamb a shot. They're setting several single screens for him. Shot clock's winding down way too low.
Down to 6. Shabazz!
Get out of here! Are you kidding me? Wow!
Last time we threw it to break, I said, Bob, I think Shabazz's shots come back. He hasn't been shooting well as of late, but Jim Calhoun said he's doing other things, passing, rebound, playing defense. Well, he's got 16 in the game now. Oh, push by Oriaki.
You can measure this one from Shabazz.
Watch him turn after he
This is from Hartford.
Napier now 4 of 6 from long range this afternoon. Knowles misfires. Jennings with a rebound. Mara gives it up, and Jennings is going to the line.
Well, it's a good foul by Oriaki. Jennings was only 2 of 6 from the free throw line in the first half and is not a good free throw shooter. Oriaki disallows the dunk.
Oriaki picked up number 4 with that foul with 4:16 to go.
Doesn't really matter. You know, he had to do it. Didn't matter whether it was his 4th or his 5th. That kind of thing you can't give up.
$13 points now for Jennings in the game as he's flirting with a double-double, 8 rebounds.
Charles Okwandu is going to have to handle the ball a little bit. Keep it close to your body, Charles, when you get it in the paint, because Louisville's going to come after you. Nice play by Jennings, making both. 2-2-1, three-quarter court trap.
Lamb handles it.
Last 3 or 4 possessions, UConn has not attacked, and as a result, they got not good shots at the end of the shot clock.
Well, we mentioned Napier from deep, 4 of 6. The rest of the team 1 for 13 here today.
Well, they haven't been good, huh?
5 on the shot clock, Bob.
Yeah, same thing.
Wow. That was Jeremy Hazel range there. Jennings snuck down all by himself. He doesn't get the shot off, but he is fouled. 3:34 to go. 5 points separating number 5 from number 19.
Well, Peyton Siva is an acrobatic little guy, and he goes in and among the trees on this one. That's pretty good insurance. Nice play by the smallest player on the floor. Difficult.
Very difficult. difficult shot, and this young man going to the line having a big game. Terrence Jennings, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Only 4 of 8 at the free throw line, but he made his last 2. Notice the follow through. He's accenting his right hand on this. He's been taught to follow through on this, which is lots of times guys pull the string and hit the front of the rim.
Well, Jennings lost his starting job when they were out rebounded by 20 to Drexel. Coming back strong with a new attitude.
UConn cannot let the clock get down under 9. They've done that the last 4 or 5 times. It's been perimeter passing, no dribble penetration or pass penetration, and it's not been good for them.
Inside 10 again, 8 on the shot clock. Napier tried the no-look pass, looking for Lamb, knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Louisville basketball.
Yeah, they are not getting quality shots right now. No doubt about that. He's got 3 freshmen on the floor right now. Lamb, Smith, and Napier, and Okwandu, who is a backup center, and Walker. Even though Walker isn't playing a good game, he should be the guy in charge making the plays.
Carrick. There's that left corner again, Bob. He loves that shot.
Better movement by Louisville. You can see their offense much better than UConn in the last few minutes. Timeout. Cards. They haven't been tied for a long time.
8-0 run, just another day at the Big East Conference.
Georgetown is Austin Freeman. Louisville has Preston Knowles. The Irish have Ben Hansbrough. Syracuse has Chris Joseph. Villanova's got a lot of shooters. One of them named Corey Fisher. And UConn has the man, Kemba Walker. Pittsburgh's the deepest. Dante Taylor helping out on the interior. What a conference.
Big East with 7. As you were going through that, I thought of a post-game quote by Buzz Williams, the Marquette coach. He said, you know, we all know that Kemba could be the National Player of the Year, but we'd be foolish enough to think he's the sole reason. They've only lost 2 games this year. Other guys stepping up now as we go deeper into the season. But Kemba with the rock is going to run things, as you said. Walker gets his pocket pick. Here comes Siva. Fouled before the shot.
Well, sometimes statistics tell a different story. Sometimes they don't lie. But Siva leads the league in steals, and you can see why on this last play. Kemba Walker's a great player, but Siva sizing him up. Well, it was a combination. Knowles tipped it also. But the 2 Louisville guards, very good at stealing the basketball. They're 1 and 3 in the league.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Knowles is number 3 in steals in the league.
Emotional change right here in the game, Mike. Louisville now has the lead. They've been knocking on the door all game long. Last 5 possessions for UConn offensively have been not good. They've gotten nothing. Going earlier would be a good idea.
Walker goes down into some traffic, and they're going to call a timeout. So the Huskies take a timeout with 2:11 to go. Down by 2 on their home floor.
Well, this is a remarkable play by Louisville. They are without Jeng, who is their leading shot blocker. They've done a great job on Kemba Walker out of the zone defense. Their pressing and token presses have kept UConn off balance, hence only 55 points in this game. They have done a very good job.
2:11 to go. There's a timeout and the foul situation.
Keep in mind, this guy Walker has made great shots at the end of a bunch of games this year. He has won games in the closing moments 4 times in the season so far.
Jay Wright said in that Villanova, everybody knew Walker was going to take the shot, and he still got it off. They had guys all over him. Last lead for the Cardinals, 11-10. 11 minutes to go in the first half, and right now holding on to the 2-point lead. Preston Knowles just picked up his second.
Watch them switch now on Kemba Walker. Mara's on him right now on any screen. See how they switch, and Knowles takes him. Same exact play.
Walker almost had his pocket picked again.
Kemba's mad.
Shabazz Napier, a hop, skip, and a scoop. He will get a couple of free throws. Almost had a chance for a three-point play.
Well, they clearly were trying to go to Walker, and Louisville defended him brilliantly. Kemba got hit in the eye, and that's what made him angry on that play. But Napier, once that happens, he has the ability to penetrate. When Kemba's getting all that attention, that's what he's got to do, and he did it well there. Napier's got 16, but he hasn't been to the free throw line yet.
Fantastic free throw shooter, 89% in conference play. 80% overall. Roscoe Smith coming back in the game for Jim Calhoun. Missed the second.
They keep it.
Big break for the Huskies there.
Also, Smith comes in, who's bigger. He was at the table to come in for defense, but now he's going to be in at the offensive end. Again, 3 freshmen in the game at the same time here.
Inside 2 minutes.
His teammates want him to shoot it.
And he does. And he gets it. And it's a 3.
Ice cold water in those veins.
Nice arc on that shot, huh? Cardinals call the timeout. Minute 11 to go, Bob. Last year it was Edgar Sosa with 7 seconds to go. Hit the game winner. Who's going to hit it here today?
You like drama? We've got drama. Kemba's been struggling, but they want him to shoot it. And he does. Bottom. Big time. 12 points for Kemba in the second half.
16 for the ball game. Still 8 under his average, but I don't think he's worried about that right now. He wants the W.
4 times he's won games in the closing moments. Here you can see the timeout and the foul situation. Nobody in the double bonus yet.
UConn Huskies inside this building, 70-14 in Big East games.
One thing about the timeouts, and fans know this, but under 1 minute left to go in a college basketball game, on a made shot, the clock stops automatically. So you don't really have to call a timeout to set up your press. And Louisville can press without calling a timeout as well as any team in the country.
What about Rick Pitino? Take us inside their huddle. What's he drawing up for these guys right now?
Well, right now, they've been very good offensively in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Siva's the guy, as the clock run down, that needs to create. And he's done that very well in this game. He's done it well in their last several games. He's got the quickness, and then the 3 other players will be at the three-point line. He's telling his team right now they have no timeouts. And then they'll have one guy, Jennings, close to the basket. So that's the thing that they should do, and Siva's got it right here. Spread the floor, keep Jennings close to the basket, everybody else at the three-point line.
Keurig, Jennings inside. Knowles, catch, shoot, too strong. Good hustle by Knowles, brand new 35.
Good trap.
Impossible trap to get out of, huh?
Well, and he didn't have any timeouts left. Normally that would have been a timeout called. Louisville gets to keep it.
Kwandu touched it, knocked it out of bounds. Cardinals with 30 seconds on the shot clock. 44 on the game clock.
I don't want to bring a screen up for this guy. It'll just get in his way. Siva's quick enough to beat this guy without a screen. There it is.
Got the shot. We're tied at 59. 20 seconds. Jim Calhoun says, let's talk it over with 16.2. All right, Coach Wenzel. We take a look at Siva here, not lacking for any confidence.
Well, this is what we talked about. He would be the guy that would need it at the end of the shot clock, and he took care of business. He is extremely quick. Napier goes behind here with the steal. Freshman mistake. Best juncture of the game. You stay between your man and the basket. And he makes a shot that he normally makes. He's a great layup shooter.
Tied at 59. Both teams 5-2 in the Big East. Huskies riding a 6-game winning streak.
Well, Walker's got 16. He only had 4 in the first half. He's come up big in the second half. Napier's the guy who's making the threes. He's 4 of 7. Terrence Jennings has one of his best games. And of course, Peyton Siva right there is ingratiating himself to the Louisville fans. He made a shot to beat West Virginia in their last game, and that one was big to tie the score here. UConn now has to penetrate into the lane, get a clean shot on a pass out if they can, but they want to get to the free throw line if possible. Keep in mind, Louisville is very good at stealing the basketball. They have quick hands, so on any penetration, whoever has the ball has to keep it close to his body so he doesn't get stripped.
The way Napier's playing, does it go without saying that Kemba Walker gets the shot? Or
well, you want that, obviously, but Napier can penetrate.
Five. Walker, baseline, step back. Doesn't go. There's still .3 on the clock, and it's going to be Husky basketball. It's going to be a catch and shoot. Touch and shoot.
Well, you just can tap the ball with .3 to go. You can't really catch it and shoot. They've got to throw it up to the rim.
Which they do, and Keurig and Peyton Siva. They're to make sure it doesn't go down, and we're going to play a little extra here. As Jim Calhoun will have to wait another 5 minutes before he finds out if they extend that winning streak to 7.
Well, Calhoun talking to George Blaney right there. They are lamenting Siva's play. Right here, with .3, you're not allowed to catch the ball, so that's really the only play. That's by rule. That's the only play that you really have with .3 to go. And Oriaki had a shot at it, but that's a 1 in 100 kind of play right there. The tip, the clock immediately goes to 0 on touching the ball. The problem for UConn, of course, is they had the cushion of the lead, and then Siva made some plays. They didn't get back quick, and they stalled out offensively. 4 or 5 possessions in a row. The shot clock got down to 5 or 6 seconds, and they didn't get anything good. And that was the juncture of the game where Louisville came back and got right back in it.
Huskies blew the lead, but at least Jim Calhoun knows that his star, Kemba Walker, has been playing better in the second half now.
This was the play that UConn thought was going to win the game. Walker drills a 3. Notice the shot clock was at 14 when he took it, not at 5. And the star for Louisville, the little guard, Peyton Siva, gets all the way to the goal, and that's what tied the game up. Big play by Siva and Walker in the last 2 possessions.
So with 40 minutes in the books, we're going to play some extra basketball here as the Big East Wars continue here on the final Saturday, January. And the Louisville Cardinals, it's all about attitude, Rick Pitino said. Well, on the road, playing the number 5 team in the country.
Well, in overtime also, you get an extra timeout. So those yellow lines that you see under UConn and Louisville on your screen indicate the timeouts remaining for each team. Each has 1. Connecticut won both of their games in overtime this year. Kemba Walker got a pretty decent look along the baseline there. Just couldn't get it to go down.
Terrence Jennings, Alex Oriaki back in the circle. Huskies 17-2, Cardinals 16-4. Everybody in this arena standing up right now. Overtime is underway. Keurig, easy bucket, Knowles.
Freshman mistake, Roscoe Smith, when he lined up for the jump ball, lined up on the wrong side of the Louisville player. Always line up on the defensive side.
Shabazz Napier, short with the three. Very quickly, the Cardinals come down. Jennings with position, can't get the shot off. Roscoe Smith whips it down.
Boy, we got quickness out here, don't we?
We certainly do.
Siva and Walker. Whoa.
Kemba, 8 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Kemba says, I'll take it inside 15.
They were lucky on that one. A loose ball, 2. Ties it.
Jennings getting his touches. It's stolen away.
Smith has a rebound and also a loose ball recovery in the last 2.
Look at Shabazz with the spin move.
Man, there are loose balls everywhere on the ground here. Siva and Knowles are so low to the ground because of their lack of height. They really make it difficult on the bounce.
Off-balance shot doesn't go for Kemba Walker. Jennings with another rebound. Two minutes deep into the overtime. Knowles. Wow, now there's a catch and shoot.
Impressive.
Knowles with 13. He was scoreless at halftime. Jim Calhoun screaming on the bench. Run the offense. 7 again on the shot clock. 5. Kemba deep. Oriaki with a brand new 35. Big rebound.
Lamb has been conspicuously absent, especially since he played so well in the first half. They could use his mid-range game right now. I don't know if the freshman's willing to do it.
That freshman will. Now for Napier. Good defense. Napier said, wow, no harm, no foul, I guess. Jim Calhoun out on the floor.
Napier thinks he's got a layup. Guys coming from everywhere, slapping at it. A lot of contact. You got to earn it in this league.
So Napier after that big 3, 17 points in the second half.
A lot of switching going on the inbound plays. Knowles is really getting into the grill of Walker, elbowing him, keeping his heads up, being very, very physical.
Tied at 64.
Napier needs to get on the other side of the floor. He's a much better shooter from the left than he is the right.
Shabazz Napier, too strong. Knocked out of bounds. There's going to be a foul call. Yep.
Louisville's lack of size on the weak side hurt him there. Playing a 2-3 zone. Keurig is only 6'4" on the weak side. Watch the left side of your screen. Big guys going up.
Keurig charged with the foul. 1-1 now for the Huskies.
Sweep by the freshman. That's his first point in the second half.
.79% shooter from the line. Knocks them both down. He's got 16.
Knowles is the danger man here, number 2. Napier should try to stay between Siva and the basket and not gamble.
Inside a minute. 11 on the shot clock for the Cardinals. Last touch by Lamb. 10 on the shot clock.
There is some intensity out here on the defensive end with the small players. Walker pleading his case. He and Knowles going after one another. Siva and Napier going after one another. What a game. Keep in mind, this week, 3 teams from the Big East Conference were in the top 10. All lost this week.
As we take a look at the game recap, Kemba Walker warmed up in the second half, a huge 3.
They thought the game was over right there, but Siva answered with his quick penetration. The tip with .3, that's all you can do. You can't get a shot. And now we're into overtime, my friend. Kemba trying to get things done. Fortunate that he gets the 2. Bodies laying all over the floor. Preston Knowles, 10 on the degree of difficulty scale.
And then
The answer? How about Shabazz, huh? This one's deep.
And it's true. So you look at all those guys. Napier with 17 points in the second half in overtime. Knowles with 13. He had nothing at halftime scoring-wise, and Kemba Walker, of course, had 4 at halftime, and now he has 18.
When you look at this, take a look at the timeouts. UConn has 1 left. Louisville has none. You remind your players as you're leaving. Pitino will remind his guys not to call any timeouts if they get in a difficult circumstance, because then that's a technical foul. So very, very important. The last thing you say to your guys is do not call a timeout if you're Louisville.
You'd mentioned the intensity. As we take a look at the game summary now, Walker with 18. Talk about intensity. In that win over Marquette, UConn held Marquette scoreless for over 7 minutes. And Louisville, in their win over West Virginia, the Mountaineers went 8 minutes without a bucket. But now we have 48 seconds to go in overtime. Siva. Knowles. Too strong. Rebound. Pulled down. Well, the foul's going to go against Mike Mara. Rebound never was pulled down.
UConn's going to shoot 1 and 1. Watch the desire. 8 guys going after this in the paint. Repetitive jumping. The ball's bouncing high, then low. People on the floor. Kemba loves it.
Like I said, it's all about the W with him, huh? It's not about that 24-point average.
Well, Roscoe Smith is the guy at the line. He's a very good free throw shooter, 78%, Mike. But this is a very, very tough situation right now.
They're going back to look at the clock to make sure they've got the time right.
Watch this scramble.
You talk about Roscoe Smith at the line, a good free throw shooter. As a team in conference play, as a team, they're shooting 81%. That's got to make a coach breathe a little bit easier.
Well, it does 2 things. It makes you happy at the end, but also during the course of the game, it keeps you with your cushion when you make your free throws.
Jim Calhoun up by 2 at the line with a 1-and-1. Huskies 7 of 11 from the line throughout the afternoon.
Mike Stevens in charge here.
3 points, 11 rebounds for Roscoe Smith.
The next one is vital. If he makes it, it's a 2-possession game. Louisville has to score twice. UConn should switch every screen if they're up 4.
Got them both.
Napier should not gamble on Siva. Back off. Wide stance with your legs.
Mara deep in the corner. Oh, that's a big 3. I'd like to welcome that audience who just completed that Georgetown-Villanova game here to Stores. 68-67, 15 seconds to go. Boy, these two teams have really gotten after it. Here's the final score on that Georgetown-Villanova game. So the Hoyas now, they've won 7 of the last 8 in the series.
Mike Mara just made an unbelievable shot. They're down 4, and he makes this 3 from the corner. It is challenged beautifully by Lamb, and he makes it anyway. Wow, we have seen some great plays at the end here. Very colorful play by Mara.
Big time shot considering he's only shooting 27% from 3. Shabazz Napier with 20. 1 of 3 from the line now. Huskies by 1. Huskies by 2. Final 10 seconds. Peyton Siva weaves his way through traffic. This is for the win. Well, it was tied at 59 after regulation, tied at 69 after the first overtime, and we're going to stick around and play some extra basketball here in Stores.
Peyton Siva is remarkable with his quickness. Napier is a solid defensive player, even though he's a freshman, and 2 times at the end of regulation and at the end of the overtime, Siva got past him and drove to the basket. Now watch and see if Napier gambles. He does. Same exact thing as he did at the end of regulation. He tries to go behind and poke the ball loose. No way. And here, just not enough time.
Jeremy Lamb, 14 in the first half. He's got 16. Peyton Siva, of course, hit the game winner against West Virginia on Wednesday. And there's another 5 minutes put on the clock. Time for another player to play the hero.
Well, so far in the game at this juncture, usually you're talking about guys in foul trouble and the significance of fouling in situations. Now, the only problem for that guy is Oriaki has had 4 fouls. He's been out for a long, long time. And as a result, Okwandu, who's not as good a defensive player as Oriaki, was not in the game to try to block that Siva drive. Oriaki now will be in the game in the second overtime.
Kemba Walker, averaging 24. He's got 18. 14 of those 18 coming in the second half and in OT. So for the 3rd time this afternoon, Oriaki and Brandon Jennings step inside the circle. And for the 3rd time, Louisville controls the tip.
He hit it on the way up. It's supposed to be at the zenith before you touch it. Oriaki's got to play smart with 4 fouls, but he's also got to slide in front of Siva if he's going to the basket.
Knowles. In, out, back in. It's a 3.
In, out, back in. Does that count for 6 points or still on his feet?
I will give him 5. How's that?
Big smile on Preston's face right now.
16 for Knowles in the game. Lamb calling for the ball. 6-5 on the shot clock. Napier takes the shot. Knowles with a big rebound. So how do you play now, Bob? I mean, you take some of the air out, apparently.
No.
No. 16 for Keurig. I'm not sure. I think all 16 have come from the left corner for Kyle Keurig.
Louisville does not know how to take the air out of the basketball. 2 threes in a row for the Cardinals right here. Give them some breathing room. It's transition. Nobody's close to him. Read the scouting report, baby. This guy can make it.
Largest lead for the Cardinals now. 75-69. Huskies led by 9 at one juncture in regulation.
A few days ago, Louisville went to Providence. Providence did not have a win in the conference, and Providence beat Louisville in Providence. And here we are today with Louisville a chance to beat the number 5 team in the nation on the road.
And of course, in that Providence game, the likes of, well, Knowles, Keurig, Mara, 0 for 13 from 3 in that game. But boy, Mara hit that 3, and he hasn't even been looking for a shot as of late. But that was a big-time 3 in the corner.
6-point lead right now for Louisville. They want to keep playing. You take the air out of the ball too soon, and it hurts yourself, especially with their style of play. UConn's problems have been at this end, the offensive end. They're not getting anything good. Louisville looks a lot smoother right now. UConn is getting one-on-one plays near the end of the shot clock by Napier and by Walker. Lamb not involved at all. No passing to the interior involved at all. It's been a struggle for them in the overtime periods.
You know, Bob Napier with 21 points. He's hit some big shots, but a lot of times here in the overtimes, I've seen Jim Calhoun screaming at him. Is he saying, get the ball to Kemba Walker? Put it in his hands?
Well, you know, both of those guys, you know, Kemba's not playing great, but you still want him to make the plays. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The problem for Napier has been his defense on Siva. Admittedly, Siva's maybe the quickest guy in the league, but you really have to try to force him to make a pass and not let him to get all the way to the basket.
Cardinals by 6.
Matchup zone.
Huskies at home need a bucket on this possession.
Look at these 2 guards out front for Louisville scrambling.
Napier with a leaner on the baseline, draws the foul. He'll be shooting 2.
Well, opportunity for Connecticut to score with the clock not moving right now, which is a big plus for them. We'll see if they go full court pressure after this free throw situation. The problem with trying to press Louisville is it plays into their hands because Siva and Knowles are so quick.
Napier, 89% in conference play. We've seen him miss a few now. Last foul, incidentally, against Keurig. That's his 4th.
Officials are checking blood right now on Preston Knowles. If there is blood, he's got to sit out. Got to come out of the game. Maybe it's his contact.
And Chris Smith jumps off the bench. He's inserted back on the floor for Rick Pitino, and Knowles goes down to the end of the bench. Do some quick work. Missed another one. But thanks to Alex Oyaki to come up with the basketball. Kemba Walker, open shot. That won't go down. Peyton Siva sizes up the situation. Now inside 3 minutes, second overtime. Looking for that opening. Slips. Gets called for the travel.
Well, that's the first mistake he's made in about 14 minutes. He's really been very, very good at the offensive end and the defensive end.
It's almost tough to call a slip a mistake anyway.
Let's see if Walker can get something going here with or without a screen. Every time he puts it on the floor, he gets doubled.
Lamb slices through. There's that sweet little runner.
It's been missing the entire second half. Knowles is wanting to check in. There has to be a stoppage of play for him to get in the game. Louisville could call timeout to get him in. They've got one.
Siva sees another opening, another scoop, and he kisses it off the window.
Boy, we've seen that 3 times in critical situations.
His confidence level is sky high right now. Walker wanted to go right. Siva tried to push him left. Lamb steps out. That's a 3. They have options, Bob. Now Lamb is heating up. He's got 21. Wow.
Well, Lamb has been absent in the second half, even though he had 14 in the first half. He was deferring to Walker and Napier, and Lamb has made the last 2 shots for UConn. Right here, Siva. We've seen this before. The drive to the basket and the convert. Right here, Lamb. That is a tough, tough shot, and he makes it anyway. He's only made 1 of 7 from downtown in the game. That happens at a nice time for the UConn fans.
He's a freshman. It's 0 for 6 from 3. You're in second overtime.
But he's not being guarded as tightly as Napier and Walker have been. They're getting all of the attention.
Siva, 17 points, 7 assists. Louisville with the basketball. And lead down to 3.
Siva's made all the critical plays for the Cardinals in this game.
Just joined us, tied at 59 after regulation, 69 after the first overtime. Looking inside at Jennings, forced it.
Opportunity knocking for the Huskies.
15 turnovers now for Louisville.
They're playing an extended matchup zone. Lamb can flash to the middle of the open.
Napier. In and out. Siva with the rebound. Inside a minute, second overtime. Big possession here for the Cards.
They've got a timeout if they need it. They've run the same spread the entire double overtime.
Siva again splits to the defense, and again he's successful. Napier takes it the distance. Answers. He's got 23. Back to 3. And there's the foul on Siva. A 69% shooter will be going to the line.
Well, they're doing the right things. Connecticut is. Great penetration right there by Shabazz. Siva's been a star of this game. Watch this penetration. No shot blocking in the game for UConn. One of their traditional strengths. Siva's been taking the ball to the basket in critical situations. That's the 4th time he's made that kind of penetration play. 19 points, 7 assists for this guy.
Missed it.
Doors open.
Walker. 10 seconds. Walker leans in. Jim Calhoun jumps out the bench and says 2 shots.
Louisville counting 3, Peyton Siva is 3rd.
So Kemba Walker will get 2 here with 9.8. Down 3. 79-76. At stake, a 6-game winning streak. $18 points, 2 of 4 from the stripe.
Make both. Foul immediately. Going for a steal.
Makes them both.
Foul immediately.
And it's going to be Chris Smith, a 64% shooter, going to the line. Let's take a look at our Papa John's player of the game.
Well, there are a lot of guys that could have gotten this award, but Peyton Siva gets my vote. He made 4 critical plays, end of shot clock, end of game, end of overtime, to give Louisville breathing room. His penetration has been marvelous. His assists have been great. Finding his teammates, leadership's been good. He's the Papa John's player of the game.
19 points. This young man here, Chris Smith, double figures, 6 of his last 10.